Hey everyone! Welcome back. And Tabby's here!
Yay!
Party. It's been a Tabby day and we like it. Yeah, this is our second recording situation with Tabby today, which is really great.
So
hey Jared!
Thanks everyone for joining.
I'm
gonna do that thing. This is where my mouth goes. She's doing that thing. I still don't understand. Oh, do you automatically just have so many follow-up questions with this millennial technology that you do?
Do I normally do what?
It's incredible.
Hey Amy!
Hi! Thanks for joining. We're gonna wait a couple minutes. So today's meditation, inspired by Tabby's words before we just went live, is to disassemble fear. Did I get that correct? Is that
disassemble fear on a grand scale.
So collectively creating more fear, is that the hopes? Yeah, I'm with you on that.
So it feels like part of this meditation is I'm going to go into some soul language. So if anyone's called, Tabby, of course, you and Sammy are right here right now to just join in on whatever soul language coding that's coming through will help with that. So we're going to do like a little mini glimpse of grace. A baby grace. We're doing a baby grace today, you guys. Yeah, that's what we do for a glimpse of grace. So I just love that so much. It's really time to continue to really dig in and return to our power, return to source, just return to the awesomeness that we are, and allow us to really step through, especially this past week. There's just been so many weird things that's been happening to like literally every single one of us in some deep sense. I'm grateful that there are some of us in our soul tribe that had the forefront last year to kind of set up energetic boundaries for the tribe, especially in certain parts of the world. So I'm really grateful. But I'm not plugging the right thing. No, I did not. I plugged in the wrong thing.
I was like, that's so weird. I saw her plug something in.
I just plugged the thing and I didn't know the other thing was plugged in.
Hey, Ivy.
So, yeah, so we're just going to wait a couple minutes and then we're going to get into it. And then we're here to continue to hang out and to chat and to throw dice and do readings and healings and codings and whatever else is needed for that time. Things are really changing fast.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, you're calibrating. That's so beautiful. Yep, that's an ongoing thing. That's so great. Yeah, it's so great that we're all connecting to each other. I love that, Ivy. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, calibration. That's the fun part of activating your soul language, right? One dialect. Oh, she's boxing right now. She's doing the box thing.
Oh, my dog. She's this big dog, but I think she's a cat. But she gets a box and she goes with it. She like hits it with her feet over and over again, like scratches it, and then she's like, like, yeah, you got it. Now she's laying with her box and holding it. So cute. Like it's a baby.
Get started. Adorable. They really want us to get going. I really want to get going too. Okay. So today's, if you're just joining, hi. Today's collective meditation is to remove fear on grand scale from yourself, from the collective all that is needed at this time, because we're on a new train to earth to be in heavenly and stuff. That's cool and fun. Just like that. Yeah. And that's the theme song you'll get when you board the train.
Like a little elevator music because you're waiting to get into the train.
Explains why so much I've always detested elevator music. I'm going to create it all. God, can you imagine if one person was in charge of elevator music? Whew. It was me. All right. All right, let's squiggly squiggly in and get settled. Just tune into yourself, your mind, your heart, your being, your soul, your breath. Closing your eyes, just really going in. Feeling that centerness within you. Perhaps there's a little bit of swaying from one side to the other as a pendulum does. Just allowing that to come to center. Noticing how your spine is, your shoulders, your elbows, your hips, your knees, your feet. Just knowing that your body is secure and safe as you go inward. Just allowing that gentle rhythmic pulse of yourself to flow outward as the metronome within your space of peace and love and wholeness. And through your breath, just drop your mind's eye into that space where you hold fear in your body, where you hold fear in your outside body, where you hold fear in your stories, in your experiences, perhaps a color, a sound, a song. Perhaps it's just a little note of something that caught your eye this morning on the news. Just really tuning into that. Allowing those outside noises to keep you even more centered. Here in our house, there's the barking, which you all get to hear too. This is a sign that you are able to hold your space despite what is going on around you. It does not matter. You are here in this present moment. You are saying yes to tuning in on yourself, allowing all of that to come forth, which is needed to be released at this time. And knowing as this fear is transmuted and released, that it also serves the dismantlement of fear in that way for the collective, as a way shower of light to others, so they may have more choices for love. We are all arriving at the perfect time in this moment. Just tuning into ourselves completely and fully. Any guides stepping forth, any inner child, any angel that's got a lot to say, higher self. Breathe. And through your breath, claim your power, claim your grace, claim your love. Nyashoko sura anayami, daya iya shakasara ahanietus, dorianakar iyata kashanai, baria kuru ura ahayanani. Iya shosukut ura hashana iati, daria o anakus urihi miana. Dashi kia sotoro inia pakata, durki nahar aroshu. Duriama aha shatai. Kara uru ki anaha a. Breathe. Shia susuria nakata shia tia kotoroyana. Boreakia na rosotus. Doro ia na a shataro. Ukuria mahara shati. Diakur ashk ana iami. Naya uru uura haha. Breathe. Shisiki shanakos karaishiti. Karia amo koturo ashataraka. Naraki yanakore mahishi tiaku. Dorus arask iniama tatatia. Allow yourself to give voice of what you are releasing at this time. What fear are you releasing to bring in love? Through your breath, through your voice, see this, smell this, hear this, feel this. Notice how it shifts and shimmers and is born anew. Know with each step that you take in your day, you are doing this. You are transmuting love, transmuting fear, transmuting whatever it is you desire to do. This power comes from within, and no one can take it from you. It is yours. You've got this. You know, like you know, like you know. Breathe. This is you. Who I am of everything and then some. Allow that energy to come in that is looking for release and forgiveness. Allow it to face you. Is it a person, a place, a moment? Breathe. Feel all of the emotions tied to this cord. As you breathe in, allow it to show itself fully. Hold that. See it. Feel it. Sense it. And as you release your breath, send blessings and love. I forgive you. I forgive me. I am sorry. I love you. You love me. For we are part of each other always. Forgiveness is our greatest power. It allows us to truly bless the whole. It allows us to see all parts of everything. For innately we know we all come from love. Allow this knowing to integrate in all of your systems. A reminder that you always walk wholly, fully, with purpose, even when you don't feel like you are. Breathe. Fear has no power over you, for fear is simply another perception of love. It is safe to look at fear. It is safe to make a choice about fear. It doesn't matter what's going on. It doesn't matter what noises are around you. It doesn't matter how many times it pulls you out and distracts you. You have the power to step back into the flow of love. It doesn't matter how aggressive that fear is. It doesn't matter how often your brain replays it. You have the power of love. You are love. Hold that. Know that. Know that you can always step into this space. This place is yours. Tashini gospurash. Maraki asakatus kuria napi kataresi. Dashkus kuria nataraki. Diashos kura nakata murkishiana. Even now, you stand in the in-between of the here and the there. In and out of the body is whole. You have the power to bring heaven to earth and earth to heaven. Either or into unity in one. It's all within. Allow yourself to fill up with that beautiful warm light. Notice where it comes from, above, below, left, right, all over. What is that color? Is it warm? Is it cold? Notice. Allow yourself to call in what is needed at this time for full release. Breathe into it. Word, I am word with my intention. Word, I am word. Word, I am word with my action. Word, I am word. Word, I am word with my love. Word, I am word. Good. Allow yourself to come all the way back in. Noticing those elbows, those shoulders, those fingers, those toes. You're home in your body. You're strong in your body. You're love in your body. No. Good. And when you're ready, open your eyes and shake it out. What's that song? Shake it up. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Shake it up. That's the song I'm going to start playing at the end.
UPS. That exciting?
Yeah. I mean, but that's life, you know what I mean? It's like no matter what happens, and that happens so much in our world. It's the ability to hold that as other things are going on. You guys did a great job.
Hey, Kelly and Sally and Brianna.
Yeah, all perfect timing.
And Amit. Ooh, that's a pretty name.
Omnia, I know.
Omnia.
I know. That's exactly how I say it every time too. I'm always like, Omnia. It makes me weird. We're going to be very breathy and sing opera. Check it out. Yep. You guys, you can come back to this anytime you want. Look, I mean, you heard what happens. Like, all this stuff happened, and you still were all there. You consciously said, I'm in. You're so strong. Yeah, we can see you. It's a little bit of a cheat, but we can see you.
I have all the Facebook tabs open, so I can kind of go in and
Yeah.
see who the Facebook users
In
are.
case StreamYard's being rude.
Alrighty, so today we're offering free Astrodice rolls to anyone who is interested in that. We just finished up our free meditation, as most of you probably saw. Hey, Jessica. And then if you would like a reading from all three of us, it's just open donations of anything you'd like to send to paypal.me/Sudither. So we are just on here for the remaining 40 minutes. Yeah, absolutely. You can get some Astrodice.
Astrodice. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Astrodice. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Astrodice. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Astrodice. Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Good one.
I keep singing the Astrodice song.
Can someone just say, like, whoever put this, hello, can I get Astrodice? Can you just tell me what your name is? Because it is not actually popping up on Facebook.
That's the official Astrodice.
That's a really good song.
Astrodice. You know,
Killing it.
she thinks when she left teaching full time that she would be away from childlike creatures, and alas, she found an adult-bodied childlike creature.
All right, Callie, let's go.
Singing. I love you, Amy.
I think most people only tune in for Allison singing. They're like, what beautiful tune will she have in her soul
New
today?
elevator music will she create?
All right, you've got Uranus and Taurus in the first house of identity, new beginnings, and impressions. So when we've got Taurus somewhere, it can be a good fixed energy. Taurus is like the king, queen of fixed energy. And when you have Uranus, it is the king and queen of... Did I say it right?
You never say it wrong. I just love how much you love me that you're willing to change that word in your vocabulary.
I just don't like listening to the correction every time I do it the way she doesn't like it. I'm a sensitive little cappy caps.
You are.
So that is the planet of big surprise and change out of nowhere. So we've got two competing issues within your house of identity, within your house of ego and self. One being, I want things to go in just a certain way and stay the same. And then the universe or multiverse, if you will, pops on in and goes, boop, guess what? Uranus energy, and then throws a bunch of chaos in the mix. So it's okay. This is supposed to be happening for you for some particular reason. There's some lesson in holding steady while the world is chaos around you right now. So just stick with that. I'm sure there's some sort of wrapping up karmic lesson in that for you. Hope that helps, Callie. Alrighty, Ivy. Hey, Hannah. Good to see ya.
Thanks for stopping by and having some tea with us.
All right. Ivy, you've got Venus and Aries in the 6th house of Virgo. Oof. Give me just a second to tune into these energies all together. Trying to think of how these planets and signs would work in this house.
I'm just fascinated to watch you work with these. I think
It's my favorite. I know. That's what I'm just like, tell me more. And she can do it. Like,
it's like being very passionate about. So Venus is love, sure, but it's also like in this case we're not focusing on that. In this case it's more of the idea of it being like really, really harmonious. And like things coming together in just such a perfect, beautiful way where it just kind of sings itself away. And then you've got Aries, which is like the fire starter, right? It's literally the first sign of fire. So it's the little spark. So it's like you seem to be sparking beautiful, like harmonious situations. And if you keep at it, so you... what it feels like is you've tried to do this in the past where you've made these beautiful connections for people and it's gone sideways, but keep at it because there's something about you being able to connect other people around you and get them all moving and working towards one harmonious goal together, no matter how rowdy they might be, like an Aries. Like an Aries goes in and they're like, bleh, and like get it started and then they're like, okay, but I don't have any stamina to see it through, so I'm going to leave that for the Virgo, right? People like the Virgo who are willing to like, all right, I'll dig into this muck and pull it up and keep it going, right? So you have the ability to blend those things very seamlessly in harmony, to blend those two types of people, and that's a great thing because we need both of them desperately.
My kids.
Yeah.
One is an Aries and one is a Virgo.
Yep. Yeah. You need Venus.
That's
pull them all together into harmony.
I'm Venus.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Would love a roll for Amy.
Last time you knew that you activated her artist within, so.
Neptune and Libra in the 8th house. The 8th house is the Scorpio house of intimacy and shared finances and merging two things. This is like business ventures together or sexy times. So let's take a look. See, you've got Libra too, which leads me to believe this is more romantically inclined type situation, especially when you bring in Neptune, which is like the mysticism, dreamy. I think you might be finding yourself receiving the attention of your dreams, essentially. Like being loved in the way that you've always dreamed you'd like to be loved in. I think some of that's coming to you soon. And I don't necessarily think it might just be from a romantic partner, because there's so much to do with like business partners when it comes to the 8th house, that it could be like in every facet of your life, you're starting to be able to communicate with those around you, how to
sexy.
yeah. Sorry, I got distracted by that amazing comment. It feels like you're able to communicate your love language needs to people more effectively in every aspect of your life. So being able to say, you know, some people don't need you to compliment them ever. They just need you to do the dishes for them, right? Some people don't need you to ever really touch them. They just need you to say, I am so proud of you, right? So you're able to really dig into what you kind of need out of all relationships and be able to communicate that really clearly with people, so that way you can move forward in a much more fulfilled way. The language of love is not whatever accent I'm doing now.
Why not? Why could that not be the accent?
Doesn't feel correct.
That was kind of Pepe Le Pew, and he was all about love and romance.
That's what I was thinking.
Find it, right?
You're so welcome, Amy. Look at your pretty little, is that, what language is that? You do that one a lot.
Do I?
Pepe. Yeah.
I should start tuning in more into like the types of. I like to just let it flow.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you get too caught up in where it's from and what it's doing, then it kind of loses its. You start to focus on that and not the actual meaning or feeling you're supposed to get from the language, I think.
That definitely can happen. Yeah, there is a period of time, I think, especially when your soul language is first activated. It's like an open book of where you can go. Everything's part Fae for me. There's always a flare of Fae.
There's a little elemental in there.
There's like somewhere in there. I don't know. It's just I love that those lives. Yeah, I think in the beginning for soul language is so fun. It's like when you find out like you like discover star seeds for the first time, and then you're like, oh, this is why I cared about stars my whole life, and then you start realizing, oh my gosh, all of these constellations that I've been attracted to for no reason, or like some random star in the sky. You're like, oh, this star was just like Tabby was talking offline a little bit ago about like how stars connected, like these 3 stars, right? Were connected. So it's your story to tell, but it was cool, right? We have all these connections. And then you can get even really into it depth. Like if you want to go with the starseed route, is like eating as a starseed and what that's like for your body. Right. And then after a while, I was like, too much information, just open channel to source directly.
Figure out what I need.
Go. Do not collect the $200. I just want to go straight out the gate. But there is always a little bit of Fae. It's probably why I never know where anything is.
It's a house full of them that's getting you, huh?
Yeah, the whole forest is now too. I know when you guys were here, everyone was like, holy toast, there's like 8 vortexes. I was like, look, we opened another one. It's kind of fun when you watch the animals walk through because they're like, do, and they hit it and they go, oh, and they like spin around. Like the cat the other day, he like couldn't jump. He'd like open this one in my dining room.
We tried to jump on 2 different.
Walked into the living room and sat down, and they're like, "Oh, I don't feel so well right now. What's going on?" And then you get up and leave, and you're like, "Oh no, I'm all better now."
Yeah, there's a vortex in my living room. It's fine. No big deal. Yeah, I always wonder, like, because you think like these, we're all kind of like stewards of the earth, right? It's like who gets the space next and what happens, and that's why when I bought my house, they were like really into it because they're like, oh, you can take the energy. And I was like, They came by and visited afterwards. They're like, how is it? It's really fun. I was like, yeah, you didn't tell me the house was full of Fae.
I feel like you're just full of Fae.
Right, which is why
I felt like it was an insult, and I did not mean it. You're so full of Fae. Like saying someone's full of shit.
right now. You have so much glitter coming out of you.
You know, when people are like, is the house haunted or am I haunted? You're
Spirit
haunted.
possum, real possum.
No, it's a different story.
That's a good day.
You're like, is the Fae where I live, or am I just bringing the Fae with me everywhere I go?
I definitely bring the Fae.
If there's nobody else that wants a dice roll, I've never had one. That would be
Yeah.
Get it, go. I get one on the daily. It's so fun.
Mercury and Taurus in the 9th house of Sagittarius. Okay. So the 9th house is typically representative of like higher, sorry, my chair went like that, like really loud. Yeah. Always blaming things on other things, right? We all know. So 9th house is travel in some ways, but a lot of times it's thought of as like the philosophy way, which is probably where we're going with this one, because it's Mercury, and Mercury is very much about like the mind and communicating what's in the mind. And sometimes even mercurial people can see both sides of the story and then can never ever move past it. Hashtag Geminis. So it's not a bad thing, right? We need the people that can see all the sides. And then Taurus, you've got Taurus who is like, why learn anything new? Why reinvent the wheel? Why this is already working, right? So you've got some of that conflicting energy. So Taurus doesn't really like to be in Sagittarius, because Sagittarius is like, reach for the stars, keep moving. And Taurus is like, sit on my couch with a blanket and delicious soda and delicious like cake, you know? But it's good because it's bringing in the wisdom of the past with the new philosophies that are coming in, right? And they're all kind of sitting, and you're able to see both sides of things. So I feel like you're like an ambassador right now, being like seeing the two conflicting sides of like, okay, we've got these people over here who have been doing it for years and years and it's working for them and they want to keep it that way. And then we've got these people over here who are like, hey guys, even though it's working, we could do it way better. And how are you going to be able to bridge the two together? Well, someone like you who can use their Mercury power right now and really go in and be like, this person thinks this because of this, and this person thinks this because of this. Now discuss in a nicer way. So thanks for being the mediator right now between those two worlds.
That.
Cool.
That's
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a superpower and a half.
Yeah, they said she liked this. Jessica last night, to the windows, to the walls. I don't know what can happen in Reiki, you guys.
You said, I love you, you love me, or something like that. And I was like, let's all talk right there. Yeah. Oh, Barney.
Did I do that?
You
did.
did.
Quote Barney.
Great.
What happens?
Ooh, okay. For you, Hannah, you've got Aries, Mars and Capricorn in the 4th house, which is the Cancer house of homes and roots and foundations. And that maternal like energy. So as you know, most of us know that Mars and Aries go together. I don't know why, but that seems to be the thing that people always know about astrology. Is that Mars and Aries
go together?
Yeah, because Mars and Aries are both the gods of war, right?
Like chocolate and vanilla.
Well, it's just Aries is typically like ruled by Mars. So it's that like go get 'em energy. Mars has aggression, be it aggression like anger aggression, or be it aggression like passionate aggression. It's got that forcefulness. And then you add Capricorn on top of that, who's a go-getter. So it feels like you have a whole bunch of energy right now, a whole bunch of forward momentum. And then you've got Capricorn, who also has the stamina, right? A lot of times, so my fiance is an Aries and I'm a Capricorn, and a lot of times he'll get things started and he'll plan an idea, and then he's real excited about him, but then he loses the steam, and then I come in at the end and like make it actually come to fruition, right? Because he's the spark and I'm the the closer, yeah. So you have both forward moving energies, right? And so in the 4th house, that focuses in on the area of like mothering or nurturing, or that divine feminine side. So tapping into that divine feminine and being able to like actually see full projects through by living in that energy more, which is weird because the other two energies are very masculine, right? So you're actually able. So a lot of the times when people get stuck in the divine feminine, they have a hard time finishing things out because it's like they're receiving all these ideas and they're going in the flow and they're like, it's so beautiful, but they have trouble executing. Like if you get really, really stuck in the divine feminine, you may have trouble executing things. But you don't. You have both the spark and the follow through right now in your divine feminine. So utilize that gift for good and not evil. I don't think you ever would use it for evil, but this is a lot of power given to one human being.
I feel like
if Hannah was using it for evil, you wouldn't even be able to tell though, because she's so like, it would be too late. It would be
And that's what you call a Slytherin.
I think I'd have to read it. I was like, can we find a new definition on evil, please? Because this is not applicable. It's still good and amazing. Yeah, some Slytherins are actually really good. It doesn't appear that way.
Lots of duality roles today. Are you hearing that?
Yeah.
Everyone's having like duality roles today. Are we in a Gemini moon time or something?
I actually haven't looked at what the moon is. I could.
Oh, right. Oh, sorry. I didn't say it, but I'm rolling for Jessica. Whoops. Jessica, Taurus in the moon in the 7th house of Libra. The house of Libra is like equality and relationships and sharing equally. And then the moon is cycles. So you may be finding it easier to focus on one thing for like an extended period of time. Like maybe let's say between, a new moon and a full moon. So like however many days that is, 14, something like that, 12. Yeah. Maybe you feel like you can only really focus in on the home, and you might be getting kind of frustrated with yourself because you're like, like, why is like everything else starting to fall away except for this one thing? And it's because you are getting to everything equally, but you're doing it in that slow, methodical Taurus manner, right? Taurus does everything. They don't do it quickly. They don't jump to new things. They do it in their own time, and they do it right the first time so that they don't have to do it again. And if they find one way that works, like I was saying earlier, they'll stick to that one way that works. And so it's important to allow yourself to slowly focus on the one area at a time, because you are cycling. You're just cycling slower than what you're used to, because you're trying to build those foundational earth-based, like really good dig in the dirt deep moments. And so you don't have to keep, like you can, I think through the end of the year, it feels like you'll be able to have hit like 12 different facets of your life really strongly, if that makes sense.
I think the last time you rolled for her, that was very similar.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sometimes if you roll for someone every day, it's like, okay, well, you're still in this energy, so.
It's interesting, though, like the different flavor that comes through as like, because like you receive the message, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you start to like ruminate and think about it and feel it into it. And like decisions are based off of what's received, right? So almost it's kind of fun, like the daily check-in, because you're like, oh, what's changed? Or didn't everything change? Or if I'm still on the same path. I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Please,
so cool. Can I have a roll? Let's see who that is.
It's Sally. That makes sense.
All right, Sally. Ooh, the sun in Pisces in the 3rd house of Gemini. There's that Gemini Mercury vibe coming back. The 3rd house is about siblings. It's about our mind. It can even be about like our early education. So like what we were learning when we were young, or my favorite part of Gemini, which is neighbors, like whoever sits and thinks about, I wonder what's going on in my house of neighbors.
Yeah.
I guess people who live in smaller communities where they actually like chat with their neighbors, right? This, because you've got Pisces in the sun, seems to be more in a reference to when you were little. And it seems like you're dealing with a wound right now of someone saying to you that you were something that you're not, like messing with your identity. Like they almost came in like all delusionally, like, oh, well, you think you're this, but you're really this. And they like told you who you were. They identified your identity for you. And now you're looking at that going, I've made this assumption, aka someone told me that this is what I was for my whole life. And now I'm sitting here going, is that true? Is that who I really feel like I am? That seems like they were caught up in their own world and then wanted me to play a certain role, and that's not really who I am. So you're right. You know who you are, right? You don't have to rely. It's hard when we're little because we're told these things, right? We're defined with who we are, and we're given these messages of that we believe for a long time, and we get mad at our parents or our teachers or whoever was the adult telling us that we were these certain things. But at a certain point, we all take responsibility and be like, okay, they said I was that, and I've been dealing with that for a long time. But now I have to take on the ownership that I'm actually carrying on this opinion. And they're no longer telling me I'm this every day. I'm just playing that out on my own at this point. And so I think you're really taking a hard look at some of those things right now and going like, wait a minute, I don't want to carry on these patterns. I want to change them. And I don't want to do this to other little kids and educate them in this way. I got real deep on a dice roll, but
What's so amazing about you is that you're so good at that.
Hopefully that's helpful in some way. But you're so right. Whatever they told you and made you identify as is not correct.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. And so mom was just doing the best with what she knew how to do or whatever was going on in her life, right? But unfortunately, mom no longer gets to control your identity, and you're dealing with that very appropriately. Well so done. Congratulations to you.
That's awesome.
It's hard to look at our childhood and admit that the adults in it might not have done it the best way, and then that we continued that pattern for ourselves. That's a whole nother layer, right? Than having to forgive yourself that you continued that
forgive
pattern.
Yourself, forgive your parents. You know, we only the tools we have. The time is what we use. You know, there's so much to that. Yes, yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, I think grandkids are that opportunity to do it the way that you wished you had done it before, but didn't know what you didn't know at the time. So yeah, absolutely. Grandkids are a do-over.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it too, in times when we lived in tribes and multi-generational families, that the adults, right, the parents were out gathering and hunting and doing all the work, and the grandparents and the kids got to hang out, and it's just such a beautiful thing, right?
There was more of a balance in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because the parents are always out working.
And it's hard when you're a parent and it's all on you. Everything's on you. The making money's on you. The providing's on you. The emotional stuff's on you. The social stuff is on you. I used to sit with when I was a teacher, and, I'd call a parent after school and I would say, hey, your kid made this choice, and they would be embarrassed. And I'm so sorry. That's not how we raised him. And I'm like, I know that. Well, you do? Well, I just feel really bad because, it makes it look like, and I was like, why would I assume that because your child made a choice that was on you? I was like, it's not fair for parents right now. I mean, a lot of my parents worked day shifts, night shifts, or they worked during the day and they went to school at night, and it was both parents had to work. And I'm like, Jesus, I can't do it. I know I can't do it. That's why I don't have kids and I'm in my 30s, right? There's no way. There's no way to be a successful parent. I mean, there is. Lots of people are successful parents and have moments of success, but I feel like the way we have it set up, it's too hard.
Hi.
Hello, Tracy. So I just stood on a little soapbox there for a while, but.
Well, that's why I think Tabby was that's why it's so fun to get to be the grandparent, right? Especially in this time, because you really do. How do you know? Yeah,
As
go
a
ahead.
grandparent, you have so much more experience than you did stepping into the parent role, right? And you now have the hindsight piece that you didn't have as the parent.
Yeah.
So coming from such a different angle and and it's the drop in, right? So I can come and play and do my thing, and now I can go on and do other things. It's not 24/7, and it makes a huge difference. So yeah.
I don't know how parents do it. I just, every time, you know, if a kid's having a meltdown, I see other people looking at a parent sideways. I'm like, the fact that parent's still standing through this extreme meltdown, I'm like, yay, parent, you're doing it. Because there's no way I'd have the patience for that to handle that as delicately as you, or I'd be like, no, listen here, you little son of a...
It's so funny. It's my older brother is 15 years my senior, right? So when I was born, he was 15. And I'll never forget when my daughter was 2, I couldn't work. And then I ran marathons, and that's how I did it. And it's just like,
survived.
and she also worked too. And I was like, man, like, kudos, y'all. We're doing a great job.
Parents are incredible. They really are.
I know. My mom was like, we had to build an 11-foot fence for you that you couldn't get over. A wrought iron fence I had to put in. So, you know, like, cause I figured out how to open the door, right? Like 2 or whatever. And then they're like, oh, okay. So then they locked the door, and then I figured out how to unlock it. And then they had the key, and then I figured out where they hid the key. I was like, my mom would tell me stories. I was like, oh, I'm a nightmare. She's like, yeah, one time I was on this, you know, in the bathroom in the second floor, just brushing my hair, and I heard, look at me, mommy, I'm a monkey. And she's like, and I turned to my left, and there you were, hanging one arm on the tree, 2 stories up. I don't know why I had your brother so early, a week after that. It's so weird. I was like, oh my God. Wild animals, you guys. We made it. If we can make it into adulthood as children, and as like, and then children them. Children the children.
Children the children. Mm-hmm.
I know, my big kid's 16. I did it. Mostly.
2 more years, baby.
I had to call in for help. This past year, I was like, I did teenager is too hard for me. I don't know what to do. And then, poof.
I showed up and I was like, I'm going to be your best friend. Are you a surly, angry earth sign boy? Yep, we're best friends now. We'll both twitch at all the idiots together. It'll be so great.
Needs a tribe.
You get to be a certain age as an earth sign, and you're like, people make
Are we getting
bold
shots
choices
right now?
You are.
And send me a friend request for your accurate reading. I don't know if you know where you're at, bro.
Oh,
Where's
man.
that at? Is that on Global?
Yeah.
That can't be a real person. Can you just go
Yeah.
ahead and block?
Mm-hmm.
Can we block, remove comment, and block author and suspend member? Bye. Forever. 28 days later. We'll give them a month. No promotions or spam. Just check all of them.
Okay.
Sorry, you guys.
And this too.
Tracy laughed at that. I love that, Tracy. Your response is to laugh at that.
The big kid is 42.
Yep.
My kids are trying to convince me to have another kid. And then, it's been read to me like for 2 years. You know, it's all about choice, but it's so funny. One of my friends the other day, she was like, I just keep seeing that baby around you. And I just showed it to Jared. And then he'll send me videos of P when she's
Yeah. He loves babies.
I know. He's the best with babies. They love him too.
I like them better when they can talk and move around on their own, and they don't require so much round the clock care.
Mm-hmm.
I was really lucky. Both my kids were really good about, both my kids slept through the night, but I think so much is because I was like, you're sleeping next to me because I'm not getting out of bed, and you would need to eat every like hour or 2 hours or whatever.
That's what I did with these puppies.
Yeah, I think
Because you have to take them out every, when they're 4 months old, they can only hold it for 4 hours. So every 4 hours, you're waking up, you're taking them out potty. And I was like, screw it. We're just going to all lay in bed together because they sleep longer that way. And much to my fiance's chagrin.
Well, if you look back in the time period, really, I can only speak for America. I have no idea what's like in the country. the research I was doing is it was in the Victorian period that was a sign of wealth when your children had their own room and they were away from you.
I mean, that makes
Because up
sense.
until then, everyone slept together, right?
Mm-hmm.
For protection and for, I mean, obviously space-wise, but it's like a sign of wealth. And then Dr. Spock came along.
If you're just tuning in, we're doing... I know, I feel like I have to say, well, I never know who's on and who's off. If you're just tuning in, we're doing free Astrodice rolls for anyone who wants it. And if you want a reading from all of us, you can just donate anything. We're just hanging out. This is, it's nice to have like $5 here or there, but mostly it's just
so fun to connect with all of you guys. Yeah. My son keeps trying to steal my bedroom.
I believe that, Amy.
Dude, my daughter is the master of this, is that she's worked with me for so long and now she's getting her own bedroom, and I moved my bedroom in the sunroom so she could get her own bedroom. Mm-hmm. And I thought to myself, why didn't I do that? And this was her seal of the deal, right? She's like, but mommy, you just love the trees and the forest so much. And look at all of the forests when you look out all of these windows in the sunroom. Don't mind that there's like a window from the sink that looks straight into the room, right? Like, didn't see that. And I was like, you're so right, P. That's what we'll do. And she's like, and I'll just take that room all the way in the far back. And you don't like to have the TV in the center of the house, so you can just put that in there too. And then it was like, do become minutes. And I was like, wait a minute. I'm on to you. Yeah, she almost got a TV in her room too. It's pretty great.
She's the smartest 8-year-old you'll ever meet, I'm telling you what. Oh yeah, Tracy, I got you. Are you sure you don't want to go with that other person? They're going to give you a very accurate reading.
You have to friend request them first, though, so you get into your friends.
That's the situation, huh?
Don't get into my stuff.
All right, North Node in Aquarius in the 8th house of Scorpio. Mysteries. I'm picking up mysteries. You're going on some kind of fun adventure. So you've got Aquarius, which all loves the fun, random adventure times. You've got North Node, which means what energy you're supposed to be moving into at this time. And then you've also got the Scorpio house, which for some reason they told me to only focus on the mystery component of that house because it's the house of mystery.
You'd think Aquarius would be the house of mystery.
I think it's just a really good time for you to go wherever you feel led to go and do whatever you feel led to do and trust that like little adventure is gonna like unveil some fun mystery for yourself in a little bit.
Oh my God, that's so exciting.
I wish that was my role. My roles are always like,
wait, roll for you.
My roles are always like, you should do taxes. And I'm like,
you guys.
I'll roll for myself, see what I get. Pisces in the moon in the 12th house. Woo-hoo-hoo.
That seems that Pisces?
That's diving it. Yeah, that's the karmic healing. So it's diving into my spiritual and flowing with the cycles. Probably need to look at, I've been having this intuition a lot lately, is looking into menstrual cycles and planning out my spiritual monthly like path based off that. Because I used to do it by the moon. You're so welcome, Tracy. I used to do that by the moon where I would like journal what I wanted to achieve and then journal what steps I was going to break it down to achieve in the middle of the month. And then at the end of the month, be like, what did I achieve? Yay, go self. But it feels like it's supposed to be like menstrual cycle related to me now and looking at like what you're more likely to do in the follicular stage or whatever they call it.
Mm-hmm. That's so interesting because I'm just taking this course on eating based on my like hormones and my metabolic rate, and it talks so much about because it's geared toward the female body, and it talks about they're like first of all, your body's meant for extra exercise, and I was like, that's the rudest thing anyone's ever told me. And then like secondly, do a lot of exercise right at the beginning of your cycle, and then towards the end rest. And I was like, and eat snacks. And I was like, wait a minute, this is exactly what I want to do all the time, because right when at the beginning of my cycle, which by the way, I just should define like what is the beginning of a cycle, because I just assumed it was this. I guess it doesn't matter, right? It's all intuitive. But lots of push-ups. That's literally what they were like. Oh my gosh. I sat with like this person. She's like, yep. She's like, you're totally, she's like, based on your build and all this and like the natal chart, blah, blah, blah.
Are you telling me that we get to do
will support everything that you're doing while I'm eating chocolate. Which is so great.
We'll send you pictures of us in the gym. You'll send us pictures of you eating cake. It'll be like,
You know what I noticed though? What is so incredible? You said this, you and Jared both said this to me yesterday. And they're like, when I don't want to do something that's good for me, I put a big stink about it. It's like, and I'm like, man, I don't want to do this and I hate it and everything. And then when I go and do it and I'm finished, I'm like, that was so great. All of these amazing things happened every time. You've released 72 pounds, Tracy. That's amazing. I bet your body feels really good. Yeah, I've been getting that tuning in to be like, hey, you know all this energy you're channeling? You could channel so much more. But then I think to myself, do I want to do that? Do I want to channel more energy than I'm already channeling? Because that's, like what's right?
Is to stop going to the gym.
Right?
I needed more rest, and I couldn't get up to go to the gym and work out and get more rest. So what are you going to do?
I know. I got that I was like, ugh, bleh, exercise. And they're like, but you love swimming. I was like, in the tub. I love swimming. They're like, but you love the ocean. I was like, yeah, when I was a whale and a dolphin and a shapeshifter, I loved that. They're like, no, don't you remember when you were little? I was like, that's a different person. I would like to remind you that you told me only the now exists. So that's not me. That's some other lady. I'm me now. Me now. I do. I do this.
I like swimming in the float tank.
Oh my God, the float tank.
You get nowhere fast. It's great.
Yep.
You should.
Actually, you can go anywhere you want to go in there. It's beautiful.
It's true.
Your float tanks are huge. Oh, you've got the pods too, though, right? We did a little tiki talk on that. That was fun.
That was, yeah. That's, I think, our most viewed TikTok, by the way, is us doing a TikTok
Tabby's.
inside the float.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's
That was
so cool.
Mm-hmm.
When you guys come back, you'll have to try the cold plunge. Now we've got fire and ice. So
I want to do that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't care about that at all.
I want to yell. I feel like that's a good excuse to yell. They're
Yeah.
fighting float tanks.
Sure.
Jared, I had a panic attack too when I first did the float tank.
He had his memory of birth surfaced in the float tank, and I was like, your birth was really traumatic. He's like, yeah. And I was like,
Oh, that's yeah.
I was like, so how is that for you? And he was like, I'm in the sauna now. I was like, yeah. But he also did, we tried the cryotherapy too, where you freeze yourself. That helps with the circulation. You said, Tabby, I feel like when I talked to you last about that.
Yeah.
I don't like I'm cold. It's because when I channel, I get cold. That's like I even had to go outside before doing the meditation because it's like, I don't know, 85 or whatever outside, which is like 32 degrees Celsius. I need to look it up now. Jared will correct me. I've learned all about Celsius, you guys, from England being at 40 C, which is like 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It's like this past week is the hottest they've ever been, like ever. And this week coming up between like Texas and Alabama, they're supposed to hit 115 Fahrenheit, not Celsius. You would be boiling.
Well, we're at that hour mark, and I know there's a beautiful little queen that's waiting for you to pick her up. So,
Hey, I'm gonna get pee.
does anybody want a dice roll before we log off?
I knew you'd correct me.
Jared's like, I can tell you the exact.
I was close though. 85 to 92. One more row. Who's got time for one more? You should roll for Jared. Jared, you want a dice roll?
I was gonna say, you have to ask a Jared first, or else it doesn't work.
He said okay. So is that okay for the dice roll?
I love you, Tabby. Yo, you want to roll? What you want? What you need? We got some dice. Dice roll.
I know his is kind of laggy when he's at the brewery, so.
You're welcome. Thanks everyone for joining. We'll come together tomorrow. We're gonna do this every day. Sure. And then in our last day thing, we're gonna release the hounds and tell you all about what's coming up. It's gonna be great.
Sagittarius and the sun in the second house of Taurus. Wow, lots of Taurus too. What's the deal?
Getting shit done.
Yeah. That is figuring out one's priorities. That's what they told me. They said, focus on the priorities thing. All right. You need to really, this is where I'm going to get real serious.
Ready?
It was also okay that you're picking up P. You guys want to work that out?
I
Real quick?
got it. We're good.
Sagittarius is the archer, right? It points to where it wants to go. The sun is your identity. So you really need to think about getting into alignment with what you are wanting out of life and what suits your identity best, and then set priorities based off that. I know that we had talked about you and Allison and me sitting down and helping you both kind of figure out a good schedule, and each of you looking at your current priorities. Please keep reminding me to do that because I see both of you all the time, so that I forget when I'm with the both of you that we're actually supposed to be spending time doing that. But that is 100%. You are so intuitively correct that is 100% what you guys are supposed to be doing right now. So if I can help in any way, also,
Yes.
if you just want me to get the F out of your marriage, that's fine
No.
too. There's no, I don't take that
I'm sorry.
disrespectfully.
B's coming back. I don't know if you know. If you ever want your family schedule to be organized and where everyone is happy, and if you're like me, you have to also need support in adhering to that schedule. You're perfect for that.
Yep. So I'm sorry, Jared, I dropped the ball on that, but you are 100% correct that is supposed to be a major focus for you right now.
You can do tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sure. After work and stuff, before date night. Because we have a scheduled date night now, you guys. It's Wednesdays. We go out for a date, even Penelope. You just go on your date night and have fun together, and I'll see you for mommy-daughter date. That's tomorrow at 6:30, and we'll be going to BJ's, and then we're also going to take a walk down the Beeline, and we're going to get ice cream at the Moose. I've already worked it all out. Okay.
She's good. She knows what she
Aries,
needs and
dude,
wants.
I love it. I'm like, thank you for scheduling our date night. I appreciate you. Cool. Thanks, Tabby. I love seeing your face extra today. Yeah, we recorded a podcast with Tabby and Jen and Marie Cliff, and we're going to put it out in the next couple of days, I think, right? Is that how it works? I have no... Hi, guys. See this beautiful human? She's in charge of the podcast. She hits record and does everything and puts the music stuff on and then releases it. I don't even know how that works. I just see it on Spotify and I go, ooh. So that'll be coming out. And does it take I have no idea how much time it takes. I don't even know.
It takes me about 2 hours to edit it and put it out.
2 hours in millennial time is 10 hours in Gen X time. It's a 1 to 5 hour ratio. Okay, bye. Ending the broadcast. Bye, guys. Sorry,
Bye,
I'll just keep
everyone.
talking. Midwest, goodbye.